Yes, my people, them. CFC, Reese Blue, back with another video, and it's live stream settings, man. And it's another Premier League table game week update, man. Another Premier League table game week update. And yeah, man, this is for match week 11. I'm going to be giving my thoughts and opinions on every team, as well as Chelsea, and obviously give some insights into Enzo Maresca and how I think he's doing so far this season. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. Tomorrow I will be doing obviously watch alongs for international break. So I will be doing that tomorrow and for the next couple of days, for the next week or so for the international break. But you guys, if you follow me enough, you will know that this is what happens during the international break. There are no days off. So thank you for your support. Thank you for the content. I hope you all have had a good day and help me get at least like maybe at least 100 or 200 views because I will be here for at least like let's say half an hour, 45 minutes. So yeah, man, let's go into the Premier League table review. And yeah, man, the Premier League table. So this is the Premier League table for game week 11. It's the Premier League table for game week 11. Where is it? There you are. And yeah, at that. So Liverpool, they are third. I mean, I said third, yeah. Liverpool are first in the Premier League. And this is due to them obviously winning their match against. Hold on. I just need to read out the notes that I've done because I posted this all on Instagram as well. So let me just go here. CFC, the Premier League table. So this is what happened. Liverpool remain top of the table after their 2-0 win versus Aston Villa. Liverpool are 5 points clear at the Premier League at the top of the table. Manchester City, they remain second after losing 2-1 against Brighton. We Chelsea move up to third for the first time since 2022 due to our 1-1 draw with title favourites Arsenal. Title challengers Arsenal move up to fourth due to drawing with us Chelsea. Arsenal are 9 points behind Liverpool. Nottingham Forest moved down to fifth due to their 3-1 loss versus Newcastle. Brighton move up to sixth after beating Man City 2-1. Not everyone can pass the Brighton test, unlike us, Chelsea. Fulham move up to seventh due to their 2-0 win versus Crystal Palace. Newcastle move up to eighth due to their 3-1 comeback versus Nottingham Forest. Aston Villa are now ninth after losing 2-0 versus Liverpool. Tottenham are now 10th after losing 2-1 to newly promoted Ipswich. That's a Tottenham thing, man. And Brentford move up to 11th after winning 3-2 versus Bournemouth. Bournemouth moved down to 12th due to losing 3-2 versus Brentford. Manchester United remained 13th even though they won 3-0 versus Leicester. West Ham remained 14th after drawing 0-0 with Everton. Leicester remained 15th thanks to a 3-0 loss versus Man United. Everton remained 16th due to drawing 0-0 with West Ham. Ipswich move up to 17th due to their 2-1 win against Tottenham. Crystal Palace are now 18th after losing 2-0 to Fulham. Wolves are now 19th after winning 2-0 versus Southampton. And Southampton moved back to the bottom of the league on Matchday 11 after losing 2-0 versus Wolves. So, the positive signs from this. Obviously, Liverpool, in their game, they won. They did their thing, and they are top of the table, and it's well-deserved. Mo Salah's doing a mazzoline for these guys, and defensively, they are just solid, man. They are just so solid defensively. So they deserve to be first. Manchester City, Manchester City, they're second it is looking very techy for their team. It is looking very techy for Manchester City because I'm not going to cap. The fact that they lost to Brighton, hey man, it just goes to show that not everyone can beat the Brighton test. We've beaten them already, but City, without Rodri, yeah, they're not doing much. They can't control the game the way they normally do. They can't create chances. Man like Erling Haaland is starving, even though he did score, but he hasn't been scoring like at the rate he was at the start of the season. This guy at the start of the season had like 7 goals in the first 3 games, or at least 8 goals in like the first 4 matches. This is what he was on. But since then, the goals have been dried up, courtesy of the fact that De Bruyne has been injured, but Rodri missing as well. That does not help them. Those two guys, De Bruyne and Rodri, without them, City, I find it hard to believe they'll win the Premier League title, if I'm going to be honest. Because at any parts during the season, whenever they've gone on that long, undefeated run, going 10 plus games, wins, they have had Rodri and De Bruyne. You can't tell me, please, someone tell me a time where they went 10 games winning in a row without both of them being in the team. I don't think that has happened. And another reason why this Premier League title is up for grabs, because the fact that Man City, if they were to win it this season, that would be 5 years in a row. No team's done that. They've literally created history by being the first team to win the Premier League 4 years in a row. They weren't going to do it a fifth time. And luckily Liverpool are top, because I'd rather them be top than Arsenal, if I'm going to be honest with you. But Manchester City is looking real techy for them. They're looking real techy for them. But let me know on the poll if you think Chelsea will finish in the top 4. Chelsea finished top 4. So I'm best about to talk about us. Will Chelsea finish top 4? Let me know on the poll. So yeah, will Chelsea finish in the top 4? Let me know. But then, yeah, man, we are third in the Premier League after drawing against Arsenal. In 11 games, we have 19 points out of a possible 33. We haven't won every game, but I never expected us to. We are doing very well. And considering the fact that we are third in the Premier League, this is now the fourth time this season where we have been in the top 4 for the fourth time this season. That is what we are doing, fourth time this season. Whereas last season, bearing in mind, we had 1 game a week. Bearing in mind, we had a manager who had multiple years of Premier League experience, top level experience. And at this point, we was 10th at best. 10th at best. And for the majority of last season, we were 10th. For the majority of last season, we was in the bottom half. Until game week 33, until game week 32, we couldn't see our team consistently in the top half of the table. We couldn't. And that was due to Pochettino and the way he handles his players. Tell me why Chelsea, playing more games this season, can win more games in the Premier League. Bearing in mind the teams that we have played against already this season. Brighton, who we won. Wolves, we won. Man City, we lost. Liverpool, we lost. Arsenal, we drew. Who else? Crystal Palace, we drew. Bournemouth, we won. Who else? Newcastle, we won. If you look at the games and compare them to last season, yeah, compared to the teams that we had played already this season compared to last season, we had 9 points last season, whereas this season, we have 19 points. If you was to factor in the teams that we had played and what we got out of those games, we would have had 9 points last season. This time we have 19. We are doing so much better. And I have to big up Enzo Maresca, because this is another thing. I have to big him up because he's a manager last year who's managing Leicester City in the Championship. Yeah, he's coming to Chelsea in a quick style of fashion. We have an identity. We know how we want to play football. Chelsea are doing things much better attacking wise. Defensively, I've always said it. We're going to have to improve defensively. But last season, if we was to have the defense we had for majority of last season, this season, it would be disgraceful. And we have to bear in mind the fact that Pochettino, you could have made decisions. You could have done things differently. You didn't have to play Badia Shaw and the Sassy at centre backs for the majority of last season. You didn't have to do that. You could have put Levi Cole left-sided centre back, but you wanted to play him left back. That's what you wanted to do. You didn't want to start Thiago Silva for the majority of the season. You didn't. You didn't want to start Trevor Chalobah, even though I'm not going to sit here and say that Trevor Chalobah is a world beater, but I can definitely say he's better than the Sassy and Badia Shaw being centre backs, in my opinion. Most definitely. I'm not going to sit here and say that Chalobah is something that's so massive, but he's better than those two. And we could have had a bad defense, but Pochettino, you made those decisions. You made those decisions. You did. So I have no sympathy for him. No sympathy whatsoever for him. You had more time on the training pitch. We had one game a week. We had more, at least 4 days, 5 days to prepare for most matches. And what was we doing? This point last year, we was 10th. We was losing more games than we were winning. And yet you had more time on the training pitch to get your methods over to the players. Maybe that was the problem in itself. I think the problem in itself is the fact that Pochettino, the more time you have on the training pitch is just the worse you make the team. Because please explain, because I would love to know. I want someone to explain to me, how is it that a manager has the players doing the most intense session the day before the match? Please let me know that. Please tell me why so many Chelsea players were injured last season. Not playing too many minutes, by the way. You got guys like Nkunku, who has played numerous amount of times in the Conference League, who has played a couple of times in the Premier League. No injuries. None whatsoever. How many players last season were just getting injuries out of nowhere? Out of nowhere. So many. I can't even keep count. We had at least 6 men injured for the majority of last season, and I believe with my full heart that it's down to Pochettino and the way he wanted our players to set up. And the way you train. You are not a good coach. You are not. Let's not forget. Look at his time at PSG. Lionel Messi has had his worst season as a senior, probably under Pochettino. That just goes to show for me so many different things. And like I've already been saying, I don't rate Pochettino. I don't rate it. And on top of that, there are guys in this world. Someone on Twitter called Dean, CFC, whatever, you want to sit there and say to yourself that Pochettino deserves more credit. Considering that in the Premier League this season, not this season. Considering that in the Premier League in 2024, we are in the top 4. Let me show you this. Premier League table 2024. Premier League table 2024. Let me show you guys the Premier League table for the whole of 2024 so far. Where is it? There we are. So look at this. Obviously, this is from the transfer market. But look at this now. Look at this. Let me just show you. Let me get it up. So share this tab. I'll go in here. For the whole 2024, Bearing in mind, we played 29 games, 15 wins, 9 to have been to Pochettino. 3 of them. Free. And Imagine how many goals we have lost in just those 3 L's. In just those 3 L's. How many goals did we lose? 4 against Liverpool. 4 against Wolves. 5 against Arsenal. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 13 goals conceded. 13 in just those 3L's alone. In just those 3L's alone. Whereas this season, we have lost. We lost 2-1 to Liverpool. And we lost 2-0 to Manchester City. 4 goals. 4 goals conceded. Compared to a whole 13 where we was embarrassed away from home and at home. But yet you're going to have people sit here and say about, oh, Pochettino, he deserves more credit. He deserved niche. He deserved what he got, which was getting sacked. Because he did not deserve to go in. He did not deserve to be our manager for this season, regardless. And there's going to be people out here who'll be bigging him up due to the fact, there'll be people bigging him up due to the fact that this man, they'll be bigging him up due to the fact that this man got 5 wins in a row at the end of the season. Do you know how mediocre you sound? To know that if it wasn't the fact that he won those last 5 games, if we didn't win those last 5 games, he would have less than 50% win percentage. Less than 50%. And yet you'll have guys in this world, like I've said, this Dean CFC. You make no sense. You make no sense. But actually, to an extent, you must make sense because you like mediocrity. You like being mediocre. That's what you like. Supporting a guy and to take away from the manager that we have now that's done more than him in a short time. He has done more than Pochettino in his short time. And yet, people will be bigging him up. Will be bigging up Pochettino. You make me sick. People like that make me sick. Because how can you allow it? How can you allow this man to be like, or how can you allow people to be like, oh yeah, Chelsea, yeah man, they would have been better if they had Pochettino. He deserved more time. You're literally just chatting crap in man's ears. Honestly, they're actually talking rubbish in man's ears, and it just goes to show how this world is kind of crazy. Because it makes no sense. It makes absolutely no sense. Honestly, he deserves to leave. That man there are absolutely finished. Pochettino, he deserved to go. He did. 100%, Drew. And I'm not going to lie. The fact that he's not gone, the fact that he has been gone, but there's still people out here that still back him, it irks me, fam. It irks me. Because I have watched every single game. I have watched every single match. But you're going to have people out there who will sit there and back Pochettino to say that he deserved more time. Can kiss my ass. What about the time he had? Like I said, what about the time that he had on the training pitch when we had 5 days to prepare for games? To prepare for teams that were playing in Europe? Where was that? Where was the time and all of that to put into the team to get the best out of them? Not to make them injured. Not to coach everyone into injuries. Because that's what you did. Coaching people into injuries. Because more often than not, we are hearing that there's new injuries near enough every single week. You can't go 3 weeks without hearing, injuries this. Person's come back, now he's injured again. Or we expect him to be back at this time, he's injured. And people say that the club, the medical staff, it might be them to blame. I'm putting it on Pochettino. Because now that Maresca is here, what has changed? Just the manager. And yet we have near enough no injuries. We are now putting people out of the team. We're putting people out of the team, not because they're injured, just because we're not going to use them. That is how things have changed. And like I've said, I have to big up Enzo Maresca so far for what he's done. Because if you was to tell me that right now that our team would have been in the top four majority of times, or at least 4 times already this season, that would be cap. I would always tell you that I expect us to finish in the top four, but based on the fixtures that we were having and such, it's like man can't guarantee it. Man couldn't guarantee it. But to be third, to finish in the top four for consecutive weeks in a row, this is down to Enzo Maresca and the way he set up the team. It's simple as that. Managers make teams better. Managers make teams better. Managers can always make teams worse, but he has come in and made us better. You can sit there and say that, oh yeah, Chelsea players they have 1 year extra of being together more. Let me tell you. Let me ask you a question. This Chelsea team together, yeah. What? Just because they are in the same changing room? Just because they train together? Because if you just look at Chelsea's starting 11 for majority of last season, in goal, Sanchez or Petrovic, that's not a change. Gusto right back for majority of time, that's not a change. Our centre back still, that is a big change because majority of last season, the Sassy or Badiashile were playing in centre back. Now we have Wesley Fofana and Levi Cole. That is a change. Left back for the majority of the season was Levi Cole. This season, Mark Cucurella. Change. CDMs. I don't even put it too down. I'm not even going to put it down to Enzo Fernandez or anything like that. I'm not even going to talk about the CDMs. Moise Caicedo has got better. Lavia is better. But there is a change there. On the left, we don't have to deal with crap Raheem Sterling no more. We don't have to deal with crap Raheem Sterling, who played near enough every single game, even when he did not deserve to. But who is that down to? Pochettino playing this crap guy. Sterling should have done way better, but he was mediocre. And the only time you can ask him to turn up, more often than not, is against the bottom teams. Fair enough, he scored against Liverpool. Scored against Man City back to back. Fair enough, but we didn't win those games. We didn't win. So I don't hold too much aptitude or whatever for Raheem Sterling because I'm always gonna be someone that will say that he should have done way more. He hindered us more than helped us. How are you allowing someone like Cole Palmer to come in his first season and get get more goals and assists in one season than you ever have for Chelsea? Do you know why that is? Because he actually cared. Raheem Sterling didn't care that much. The only thing he really cared about was getting that 350k a week. That's all he really cared about. He didn't care about taking Chelsea back to where we belong, where we have been. He didn't care about all that. It's all about the money for him. It was all about the money for him. And people sit there and you can sit there and say that I can be wrong and my opinion isn't valid. You could try to say that, but I'm gonna hold true to my opinion. And someone like Raheem Sterling shouldn't have started majority of the time. He was taking minutes off someone like Mikhailo Mudryk, who deserved more minutes last season. He deserved it. But because of someone like Raheem Sterling, who gets paid 350k a week, because of his experience, he was going to play even when he stunk up the joint. And man like Raheem Sterling stunk up the joint more often than not last season. If it wasn't thanks to Cole Palmer and Nicholas Jackson providing goals and assists consistently for Chelsea in the Premier League, we wouldn't even have finished sixth. We wouldn't even finish sixth. If you're looking at our attack, it's only those two that can have their head held high in terms of Chelsea last season in the attack that we had. Because without those two, we was on niche. Cole Palmer literally got 33 goal involvements in the Premier League last season. Nicholas Jackson literally got 17 goal involvements last season. Those two combined for 50 goals in the Premier League, 50 goals and assists in the Premier League. Bro. I need Noni to be dropped, man. He's having stinkers. Noni is another Sterling. Noni can't be another Sterling because Sterling had way more experience. He can't be another Sterling. Noni it's his second full Premier League season. And even though right now he's not doing that well for us, I will never compare him to Raheem Sterling, because Sterling should have done more and never did. You allowed people that have less experience than you to do better than you. And the reason why that is because Raheem Sterling didn't care about coming to Chelsea to take us back to where we belong. You can talk all the talk that you want, but your actions on the pitch never showed that he was dud. And I'm happy that Arsenal have taken him. But you can't compare Noni to him, because Noni didn't come with the expectation to take us to be our best attacker. That was not Noni's expectation. I'm not going to sit here and say that Noni's doing exceptional, but he has to improve. But he's not. You can't compare him to Raheem Sterling. Raheem Sterling, uncomparable, our worst attacker in God knows how long. With the amount of experience that he had and the amount of money that was thrown at him, he is crap for all of that. Noni has time to prove his worth. And even though right now he's not doing too much during the last couple of game weeks, he has to improve. He has to. And there's a long season ahead. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I hate Noni, I'm against him or anything like that. But I can sit there and say that, oh yeah, our team needs to play someone else. Because I'm not gonna be someone that's gonna be like backing a guy, he's not doing too well. We need Sanchez to be dropped, in my opinion. He will cost us. In my opinion, whether it's Jorgensen or Sanchez, there's not a real difference between either of them. There's no difference between any of them. So for me, it doesn't make a difference. We should just be lucky that we are competing for top 4. Because if it was competing for a Premier League title, it would have been over before it even started. But to get top 4, I've seen us get top 4 with guys like Kepa in goal. So we can get top 4, but that's at the most. We can't get anything more with the team that we have. So and Burrow, what do you do with Nkunku? I hope he doesn't go, man. And personally speaking, if I'm gonna be so honest with you, I love Nkunku, no did you, but I can see him definitely leaving next summer. I can definitely see it. He's not someone that deserves to be playing the Conference League. He isn't someone that deserves to be on the bench for the majority of the Premier League matches, but it's just down to circumstance. You need to remember, when Nkunku was first signed to come to Chelsea, he was viewed as to being our number 10 in terms of the cam position, being our best attacker. But when he gets injured, and then you have Cole Palmer had the season that he had, playing in a similar playing in and being a type of player that can be someone like like Christopher Nkunku, it's like, yeah, man, I'll be so honest. It's just down to circumstance. Cole Palmer can't get dropped, and Nkunku plays a similar position that he was. So it's just jarring. And now that we've signed Joao Felix, yeah, man, now that we've signed Joao Felix, and Nkunku's getting labelled as a striker when he is not a striker. He is a number 10. He is a cam. But you're putting him in a striker position to accommodate Joao Felix, who isn't even better than Nkunku in a number 10 position, in my opinion. Like, but these are what these are the cards we are dealt with. It's just, I just feel sorry for Nkunku, because if it wasn't thanks to his injury, he would be a nailed on starter for this team. But would we have had the Cole Palmer season that we had last season? Probably not. So it's just how the cookie crumbles at the end of the day. But yeah, man, I definitely think that he will leave next summer, because how he's going to break into this team? Is he going to be a number 10? He's going to be playing off the left? No, because Maresca isn't going to change Cole Palmer toward the right-hand side. If he's going to change anyone, it'll probably be Pedro Neto to the right-hand side, because he favors that position more. So, yeah, man. I should be real, man. Nkunku, I hope he doesn't go to Man United, but I can definitely see him leave next summer, because he needs more game time, and he's not getting any younger. The guy's like 27 as well, entering the prime years of his career. So I can definitely see him leaving next summer, even though I don't want it to happen. And we need a new centre back. We need top 4. I pray the first and goalkeeper doesn't cost us. I personally don't necessarily think that we need a new centre back. Levi Colwill, he's doing his thing on the left-hand side. And there's a few people that criticize Wesley Fofana, but you see Fofana, he didn't play all of last season. He missed the majority of the season before that. He hasn't been playing consistently for 18 months. and he's getting better. He is getting better. Personally speaking, I would give him way more time. Like, not too much, but I would give him more time because there's no guarantees that if we get another centre back, unless it's like someone that's proven, then there's no point in switching it up. You talk about like guys will talk about our defense. Like, it's doing better than what we was doing last season. If you think of the games and the goals we conceded last season, like I've already stated, we played Liverpool at Anfield last season. We conceded 4 goals. We conceded 2 this season. Against Man City at home last season, we conceded 4 goals. We conceded 2. We didn't win. We conceded multiple goals against other teams, Wolves and such. So it's like we're improving little bit by little bit. But I think more than anything, our goalkeeper needs to change way more than our defense does, in my opinion. Because if we get a new goalkeeper, that can ease the worries that the defense can have. Because we don't know if these guys rate Sanchez highly or not. We don't. But if they were to get a proper goalkeeper, like a Diego Costa from Porto, or maybe a Mike Maignan from AC Milan, maybe we could see our team defensively be better. But compared to last season, we are doing better this time around than last season, in my opinion. So, but yeah, man, that's just my thoughts. I don't think we need to buy a new centre back, but I do believe we definitely need a new keeper, 1000%. And I pray Maresca doesn't get sacked. Some of the fan base are saying Maresca is stubborn, man. When it comes to being a top manager, you have to be stubborn. You have to believe in yourself. As a top professional, you need to be stubborn. You need to believe in yourself and forget the opinions of others. And there will be Chelsea fans in this world. Like I already said, there's someone on Twitter called Dean CFC. This guy has, like, he hasn't said he wants Maresca out, but for him to be like, Pochettino deserves more credit, can kiss my ass. Because people like him will be quick to turn on someone like Enzo Maresca, considering the fact that Maresca has done more in his first 11 games than Pochettino did in the whole of last season. Because we are in the top 4. Not once last season was we ever in the top 4. Our average position was between the 11th and 9th last season. Average for the majority of the season, even though we finished 6th. So there's people in this world that will be saying Maresca out, but clearly they accept mediocrity. They like mediocre. We ain't settling for that. We deserve more, and Maresca can do more. He was managing Leicester last season, a team who we played last season in the FA Cup. We was 2-0 up. We blew a 2-0 lead to Maresca's Leicester City. We blew a 2-0 lead to Leicester, who were in the Championship last season at home. People need to put respect on Maresca's name because he's doing more than what Pochettino did for Chelsea. People need to remember that. So I don't care about all of those people that will say for him to be out, they can kiss my ass, because they would have wanted Pochettino to be here after going on a 5-game win streak from game week 33 to game week 38. You waited more than 80% of the season to go on a 5-game win streak. You make no sense. You wanted to invert in the last 5 games, and now he deserves to be the manager going into next season. All those people that have that kind of thinking can kiss my ass, because you lot make no sense. No sense. But yeah, Nahima. But Nkunku can play a false 9. Sometimes Jackson is so bad, to be honest, let him play a false 9. Jackson isn't bad. I can't sit here and say that Nicholas Jackson has been bad this season. That is absolute cap. Absolute cap. How can we, for a player who is like top 5, top 6 for the most goals and assists in the Premier League this season, how can you sit there and say that he's not doing bad? That he's doing bad? He's moving dud. It is cap. It's cap. You can't. Personally speaking, you can't say that. Like, I rate Nkunku, but he is not a striker. Nicholas Jackson is improving a whole lot more. A whole lot. He is improving a whole lot. Nicholas Jackson has 9 goals and an assist in 11 Premier League games. He deserves to start. He deserves it. And Nkunku, like, if Nkunku was to play, Nkunku has to play off the left, or Nkunku has to play in the number 10. But we cannot drop Nicholas Jackson or Cole Palmer. Like I've already stated, those two in the Premier League last season combined for 50 goals and assists. Both of those two, if you take those two out of our team, we would be finished last season. We'd be finished last season. We would be finished if we took those two out of our team, because they made our attack click. It's not down to Pochettino. No. Those two, Cole Palmer and Nicholas Jackson, having that link up and that is brilliant. And I will not sit here and say that Nkunku deserves to start more than Nicholas Jackson. He doesn't. He deserves to play, but that doesn't mean he deserves to play more than Nicholas Jackson. That is cap. Nico deserves more credit and more respect on his name. He deserves that. But yeah, man, that's just my thoughts and opinions. Like, personally speaking, our team has just been we just have too many attacking options. That's what makes this thing so jarring. But it's down to the fact that we have too many attackers. And Nkunku shouldn't be the backup number 9. He should be the backup number 10. Or that kind of thing. Because Cole can't be dropped. Nico can't be dropped. The only two options in the attack is on the left or the right. Because those positions are not guaranteed. Are not guaranteed for people to be there every single game. Not guaranteed. So, yeah, man. And Nkunku doesn't deserve to start more than Nicholas Jackson. That's all I will sit here and say. He earned his place from last season. That's what Nico did. He earned it. And I see Carney linked to Ipswich. We might get Liam Delap. Personally speaking, how big is Liam Delap? Is he's someone that's playing very good for Ipswich. But in the midfield, yeah, do you know what we need? We need someone that's big physicality, has big physicals, can attack as well as defend. Because we need a CDM more than anything. We relied too much on Caicedo to sweep up too much. And we literally just need a more reliable CDM, someone that's big physical. Signing someone like Onana that went to Aston Villa would have been a great signing for us. That would have been excellent. That would be excellent because Moise Caicedo is a player that can do things attacking wise and defensively. But we need someone that's big, physical, that's going to stop guys. Lavia, he's good defensively, better than Enzo, but he doesn't have that frame. He can get pushed past, he can be left on the floor. So that's the reason why, for me, like if Carney does leave or whatnot, get someone that's along the lines of an Onana, like a Chouameni or something like that. We need someone like that. We don't need another creator in the midfield. We don't need that because we have Enzo Fernandez, someone that's a great creator in the midfield. That's what Enzo can do. That is his speciality. That is what he does. So we don't need someone like Liam Delap. We have too many players in our squad. But for the amount of games that we play and for the amount of games that so many teams play in the whole entire season, it makes sense because we're not going to have too many injuries. We won't have guys being too tired. So that's just my opinion. And then look at Jackson winning fouls. Jackson's just very good overall. Bro, where is Sancho? I hope he's not doing online shenanigans. I don't think Sancho's doing any online shenanigans. Personally speaking, yeah, this could be somewhat good because when I was looking at it, he hadn't played the last 2 games before Manchester United. Pedro Neto had come into the team. I think a part of me could think that this was like good planning from Maresca because he would have known that he can't play against Manchester United. That would have been facts. And now, because after international break, we have literally 12 games in a row, this could be good for Sancho and good for the team because people are forgetting how we played with Sancho, how direct he was and such. So I think that this could be good, bringing him in after international break where I expect him to be fit and he should be starting more often than not. So this could be good because teams are not going to be remembering how we played with Sancho in the team. We now play a lot of low quality teams compared to the start of the season that we had. And when you got guys going to be parking the bus and all these kind of things, Sancho is ideal for those games. Just look at him in the Bournemouth match. Fair enough, and Nkunku done so well to score that goal, but Sancho with those intricate passes, those link-ups down the left-hand side and such, that's what will be brilliant after international break. And teams are quick to remember and how to stop certain things happening. Teams are quick to remember how certain things happen and to stop them. They can't remember how we was playing with Jadon Sancho too often, and that's why in these kind of games that we were playing against United, Arsenal, Pedro Neto was better for these kind of games rather than Sancho, because Sancho is needed for those lower gaps. He's needed for these kind of things, in my opinion, because when it comes to breaking those low blocks, he's better for that rather than in the big games where we need to have that pace down the left, which Pedro Neto can provide, in my opinion. So that's just my thoughts on Sancho. I don't think it's anything too serious. I think he's doing well, and it just could be just a tactical thing that Maresca's doing, personally speaking. And I hate international break, man. We always struggle after international break. And we struggle until we don't struggle. We have Leicester after international break, a team that Maresca knows very, very well, as he was the manager. So even though it's jarring, we are not playing against a top team. It's a lesser team away from home, and we've been doing way better away from home this season than we have been doing at home. So that's what I would take from that. Because I'd rather play I'd rather play Leicester away rather than after international break we have to go to Liverpool away, or we have to play Arsenal away, or we go to Manchester City away. That would be more intense. Aston Villa away, it'd be more jarring after international break. So I'm not too fast. But we have Leslie Ugochukwu. And it's true, we have Leslie Ugochukwu, another player. We have so many midfielders. We have even Andre Santos, who's doing so well for Strasbourg in the French league. We have so much talent. We have, and we have so much talent, man. And that's the thing that the board can get bigged up for, the amount of talent that we have. Leslie Ugochukwu would have been good. Instead of being at Southampton, he could have been in midfield, being that 6 foot plus guy that can be a destroyer, but he needs the Premier League experience. He needs that. Imagine playing in the Chelsea team, and even though he has all those physicality attributes and such, he doesn't have the full mentality of how to judge a Premier League match for a full 90 minutes. He needs that experience, and he will be getting it at Southampton. And they're a team that keep the ball more often than not as well. So that plays well for him. And in the future, for him coming back to Chelsea at some point, personally speaking. But I do agree. If he was to keep him, that could have done well for us. We added that extra profile in midfield that can be a somewhat of a destroyer, someone that can be that 6 foot plus guy is not going to get manhandled, that a lot of our midfielders can get manhandled and just get bodied. So I do agree with you. We have Leslie and we could have brought him back, but just how it goes. We have Andre Santos, and Santos, he should be in the team next season. I didn't even want him to go on. I didn't even want him to go on loan this season. I rate Andre Santos so highly. I rate him so highly. But these are just the things. These are just the things where it happens. And Sancho, he had a knock in it. He had a knock. There was a video clip on his Instagram where he's basically like the physio room or whatever. So he just has a knock, personally speaking. But hey man, I'm not too fussed. And Leslie is good in midfield, man. I ain't gonna cap, he is. But like I've said, obviously man was doing the Premier League table review. I've given my thoughts and opinions on a lot of the teams, or on our three teams. I was also talking about Arsenal, a team like Arsenal. I don't think they're gonna win the Premier League title, but it's not out of the races. They just need to win more games. But they have Odegaard back. They should be doing better. All the other teams, below them, like this was the Premier League table for game week 11. The table. I was saying before that obviously we are doing well. I got sidetracked because I had to talk about I literally got sidetracked for like 20 minutes because man was talking about Pochettino and how he got man mad. Then I was answering you guys' questions. So yeah, man. Obviously, Arsenal are fourth on goal difference. They're behind us. Nottingham Forest has 19 points. They're behind us. Brighton have 19 points. They're behind us. Arsenal and Nottingham Forest play each other after international break, so that'll be a very interesting game. Brighton, hopefully they don't get a win after international break, but they beat Man City, so that could be guaranteed. Fulham, I can't lie, Fulham been doing well. They've been repping West London very well still. So big them up. They're 18. They have 18 points. They're 7th. They're doing very well for their season. Newcastle, they got that win. 3-1, 3-1 comeback against who was it? Was it against Aston Villa? I'm not 100% certain right now. Wait, was it against Aston Villa? I'm not certain. I think it was. Yeah, Newcastle, they beat Nottingham Forest 3-1. My bad, not Aston Villa. Nottingham Forest, they beat 3-1. So that was a good win from them. Aston Villa, they're ninth with 18 points. This is peak table. Because there's only 3 points separating. There's only 3 points separating third from 11th. So, but hey man, this is insane still. But Aston Villa, they're doing well, but they're ninth right now. Tottenham, these men are crap. You man make no sense. You have the best goal difference in the top 10 teams, but yet you man are 10th after losing 2-1 to Ipswich. Man make no sense, but that's Tottenham for them. Brentford, they're 11th. They always score goals, but they concede as many as well. So yeah, man. And then on top of that, um, Bournemouth, 15 points. Manchester United, 15 points. There's starting to be daylight between the bottom half teams in terms of like the last 5 or 6 teams compared to more, because there's 3 points separating that from that. And there is now 7 points separating 17th from 13th. So the bottom half is shaping up. And then once we get to game week 19, we'll see a bigger gap. But teams like Southampton, Wolves, Crystal Palace, they are on niche. They're on niche. And Ipswich, Everton, Leicester, West Ham. These are the teams I feel like will be battling out to stay in the Premier League. Everyone else, I can't really predict where everyone will finish. I think United will definitely finish in the top half of the table. They'll have the new manager, Ruben Amorim, after the international break. So that'll be interesting for them to see how they play. But other than that, all of these teams, I expect them to be in the bottom half for the majority of the season. West Ham, Leicester, Everton, Ipswich, Palace, Wolves, Southampton. So yeah, man. That's the Premier League table. Obviously, my thoughts and opinions on that is that I think Chelsea will get top 4. We play Leicester after international break. That should be a next 3 points. And based off the fact that I'm hoping that Nottingham Forest and Arsenal both drop points, they both draw, that can give us some more leeway in terms of these kind of teams, because we could potentially be 2 points or 3 points ahead of either team. And that would be big going into our next kind of games, because from November to December, we have a lot of easy fixtures. On paper, we have easy fixtures, even though teams can lose any game. So that's just my thoughts on that. And Man U are 4 points behind us. I don't think United, for me, they're gonna finish the highest they'll finish is 6, in my opinion. They'll either finish 6th or 7th, in my opinion. Because as much as we can sit here and say that, oh yeah, we're only 3 points or whatever, the amount of times last season that I saw my team only 3 or 4 points, 5 points behind Manchester United, and all we have to do is just get the win. That's all we have to do. It's easier said than done. It's easier said than done. So for me, I don't think Man United will be above us again for the rest of the season. And if they do, then God forbid the rage that will be coming out of my mouth, bro. But yeah, Man United, they're gonna be in and around the 12th, 11th, 10th, 9th, 8th, 7th places for the majority of the season, in my opinion. The highest that they could finish is 6, in my opinion, just based off the fact that their attack just doesn't seem to click. And their defense, they have a lot of injuries, so I don't think their defense will do too well, even though Amarim will make them more defensively sound after that. But we have to just wait and see because we don't know how their team will play once what's my man's name? Amarim comes. So that's just my thoughts and opinions on that. But other than that, the top half is looking calm. We just need to start winning. We just need to win more games and not lose or drop points in back-to-back games because that can definitely hurt us. So that's just my thoughts and opinions on that. And I wonder if Gallagher could have worked in Maresca's system. I'm gonna be so real to you. Forget all that. Forget it. Gallagher, like I've always said, if all of our team was fit, if all of our team is fit, which it is right now, he would not be starting. He would be on the bench. That's where he would be. So if he's talking about him being a squad player, then fair enough. I wouldn't mind it. Having a guy come on who can disrupt play, get fouls and such, might, once in a while chip him with a goal or an assist. But he ain't going to be a starter at any point if all of our team was available. It's impossible because he just doesn't have that quality to be a starter for the majority of the season and help us get top four. It's impossible. And we saw that last season for the majority of the time that he was starting, we was more often than not in the bottom half of the table or at max 8th. It's only due to the fact that the last 5 games of the season, all of the teams that were above us were just doing worse than us, and we was able to get higher up in the table. But guess what? We still ended up being in the Conference League. And that's down to the manager and the team that he selected. He thought that Gallagher is better than Moises Caicedo and Enzo Fernandez. I'm sorry. From that statement alone, he's insane. Insane. He's insane. I mean, normally scored if we go behind. Not last season, bro. Once we concede certain goals, our heads go down. Once we concede certain goals, our head go down, man. I don't want to hear about we normally scored if we go behind. Having that character, that mentality was not there last season. Was not there. Wasn't. Um, so you can try to sit there and say that about we scored if we went behind, like last season. If it's about this season, then I agree. But last season, forget about all of that. We do that this season, and I like that in the character. But we didn't see that last season. Most of the time, if we do concede, heads go down, especially if we concede first. But yeah, and we best Tottenham anyway. We will beat Tottenham, and on top of that, we didn't even beat Nottingham Forest this season. We drew, even though last season we did win, but Nottingham Forest are different last season at the end compared to now. And even that game was very close. We only won 3-2. And I can see us selling Badiashile and Sessi in January. Hey man, I just want to, personally speaking, I just want to see them both gone. Badiashile, man, he draws me more than anything. And the Sassi, he draws me. Both of them. I just wish they weren't starters last season. If they weren't starters, we wouldn't concede as many goals as we did. But again, that's down to a man like Pochettino. So yeah, man. I'll be so honest with you. I wouldn't mind selling them, but we'll see in it. Nonetheless, I'm only worried about the guys more time who start because they're the guys that will get a lot of the criticism or the praise. So yeah, man. I hope we can sell both of them. But I'm not holding my breath, if I'm going to be honest with you. I'm not holding my breath. But yeah, man, I can see it happening at some point in 2025. I just don't know if it will be in January. Because who's really trying to buy Disassi or Badiashile, in my opinion? Who is really trying to? If there is a team that does that, big it up. Help us recoup a lot of the money that we paid for both of them. But yeah, man, I don't see it. I don't see it. And on top of that, it doesn't make any sense because we can't be playing Wesley Fofana, Levi Cole all the time in the Conference League. Let these guys play in the Conference League, boost up their value. We win the Conference League, and then next summer we can sell both of them. And then yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Because after next season, we're gonna be in the Champions League, hopefully. And if we are, there shouldn't be a thing where, oh, we'd make 11 changes every single game for the cup competitions and the Premier League. No, we play our best team in the Champions League and in the Premier League. That's how it should be. So I hope that we do our thing in the Conference League. Them lot get their shine and that, and then you get sold next summer. That's what I'll be hoping for, in my opinion. Unless they can both prove me wrong and get better, but I doubt it. And I'm glad he's gone. He was the problem. We played poorly. Who was the problem? Who was the problem last season? Bro, but he plays in Conference League. We play in the Conference League and we barely get clean sheet. We play in the Conference League and barely keep clean sheets, bro. Even when it comes to handling the ball, even, I'm not saying it's all down to him, but it's bad to protect. But it's better to protect as many players as possible. But it's better to protect as many players as possible. This has to be a shot here. Another Maguire. So this has to menu, man. This guy is trying to sound like, you're killing me. Man United will never get relegated. None of the top 6 teams will ever get relegated unless they get hit with a massive points deduction. We have way too much money and way too much resources to be in the bottom 3 in the Premier League unless someone gets hit with a minus 20 points deduction. That's the only way. And even then, they might be able to still get out of that potentially. I can't be 100% certain, but none of the top 6 teams will ever get relegated from the Premier League unless there's a points deduction. So even if we sell a lot of our rubbish players to Man United, they're never going to get relegated. The same way we would never get relegated. The same way other teams will never get relegated, because at some point there will be just that quality that takes us above it. Yeah, I saw that. I saw that report. Even even on Eunice, I saw Eunice talks football. He mentioned it as well. And I'll be real, man. When we're always gonna be buying players every season and such, but I just want a suitable centre back pairing that can win us the Premier League. And I'm gonna give Wesley Fofana the benefit of the doubt with the fact that he hasn't played for majority of the last 18 months. So I'm gonna give him more time. And personally speaking, I think he's doing very well this season so far. Personally. I think both centre backs are doing well this season. Way better than what we would have, way better than what we had this time last year, in my opinion. I'm not saying it's all down to him, but it's not a big. Just because Sanchez doesn't give us confidence. Because he could be worse. Because he could be worse than Sanchez. And I don't want to live. And because he could be worse than Sanchez if put in the same positions. And that's dead. I'm just we should just be thankful that we're not competing for the league. Competing for the league. We should just be thankful that we're not. And I wonder what happened to Gusto and Palmer. They're just getting rested, bro. They're just getting rested. They are. It's nothing too serious, in my opinion. It's nothing too serious. They're just gonna get rested. Even look at the last international break. Palmer didn't even play in the last international break either. So we're just keeping them fit, man, and ready because the next Premier League. See, after the international break, this Premier League period that's happening. After that is the most intense period in the whole entire Premier League season. We played 12 games in a row. 12 games in a row before there's a next international break. And that's just the Premier League. That does not factor in the Conference League either. We need our players to be fit for this period because if we can be in the top 4 after this period, then we can look at it and be like, yep, we are going to win it. And as a Chelsea fan, I don't want Liverpool to win the league. I don't want any team other than Chelsea to win the league, but you can't always get what you want, man. You can't always get what you want. I'd rather Liverpool win the league than Arsenal or Manchester United. I don't know too many Liverpool fans, but you have to give credit where credit's due. They are doing their thing. And Arne Slot's doing his thing for Liverpool. They have world-class talents. They have world-class centre-back, world-class right-back, world-class right-winger. Like, these men are elite, and they've been showing it for years. So you just have to give credit where credit's due. They have the team that can win the Premier League. They do. It's just whether can they be that consistent? Can they? Because Man City are not doing the job. They are leaking goals, and not scoring too many now either. So it's peak. It's like deep here. Man City only have a one more goal difference than us. Deep here. Christopher and Palmer is letting me down, man. Bro, just stop worrying, man. Pardon me. You need to stop worrying about what you have to stop worrying because not everyone's gonna be in form the whole entire season. The same way you talk about Gusto's form and Palmer's form. What about Erling Haaland's form? What about Erling Haaland's form for the champions of the Premier League? What about his form? Erling Haaland. What about his form? Like, not everyone's gonna be in form all the time. Palmer hasn't scored or assisted in the last 2 games, and he's getting criticized. That is the level of player that he is. This time last year, there wasn't even a cold celebration. But now a whole year later, because he hasn't scored or assisted in the last 2 games, or if you talk about against the big teams, like, what does that matter? Last season, he was doing his thing. So, and even though he hasn't scored or assisted against the big teams, he still has 12 goals and assists in 11 Premier League matches. Does he not? Does he not average a goal or assist every game, basically? Does he not? So all of that, forget about all of that for Cole Palmer. Forget about all of that. Gusto, he's learning a new role. Last season, he was up and down the right-hand side. Now he's been asked to invert. He's been doing it. And he's just trying to learn a new role. Like, we have to give people time here. We have to give people time. Maresca trying to get his plans, his instructions over to the players. And it's not going to be happening straight away that they're gonna thrive. But we are doing better. And at least we are competing against the big teams. Whereas last season, like we played Liverpool on the first day of the season, we drew. But other than that, it's like when we played Liverpool, it was shambolic. Away from home, it was shambolic. Against Arsenal, it was shambolic. The only times we do well against the big teams when we were at home. And again, we didn't lose at home to Arsenal. We lost at home to Man City on the first day, but it's Manchester City. Like, other than that, we can't criticize Cole Palmer. This is the guy that literally scored 4 goals in the first half. No Premier League player ever has done this. None. None. So people can't criticize Cole Palmer. If they want to, then I'm just going to take it as a serious positive due to the fact that this guy, this time last year, had no expectation. He had no expectation, but yet Palmer now has all the expectations. He goes 2 games without a goal and assist, and people are on his back saying, "Oh, I don't hear anything anymore after 2 games." Like, I just find it hilarious, personally speaking. That is just very funny to me, but I take that as a compliment because Palmer, that just goes to show how many guys in this world can go 2 games without goal and assist and they get criticized. How many? Only the world class players, only the best players, and that's what Cole Palmer is. So that's just me. And on Gusto, he's just learning a new role, trying to get Maresca trying to get it over to him. It's gonna take time. He hasn't played this role like that. So just give him time, man. Give him time. And on top of that, Reece James, he's not necessarily 100%, so he can't even play that role either. Gusto, he can play that role. On top of that, he can get back and recover because he's our fastest defender. So for me, like, I just personally just gonna give the team time because from what I can see, and what we can see is that Chelsea are in the top 3 in the Premier League. We have been in the top 4 times after game weeks. 4 more times than we ever did last season. So I'm going to take that as a positive. I'm going to take Maresca doing whatever he's doing as the positives. Right now, the only issue that we have is defensively, but that was always going to be the issue after the fact that last season we had our worst defensive record ever. But this season, we conceded like 13 goals. I will take that, considering that we've played Liverpool away, considering that we've played Arsenal, Man City, where these teams were scoring multiple goals last season against us, multiple, all of them. So I will take all of that, and I will be blessed. So and we are blessed to have Neto, in my opinion. I know that we are blessed to have Neto because I will never forget that when I first saw that we signed him, it was just a straight thing of where it was like, oh, Chelsea have agreed a fee for Pedro Neto. I was doing a workout in my garden, and when I saw that, I screamed. I was like, yes, because this is a person that we need. He is that quality, and like I said, I'm very thankful that we have Neto. I'm very thankful for that. So thankful. He's so cold, so cold. Brilliant signing, brilliant. And who do you think will win the league? As it stands right now, I think Liverpool win the league. Personally speaking, I do think that they'll win the league. Last season, the reason why they probably didn't win the league is just due to the fact that the way they were playing football. And when I mean play football, they just attack. Whereas this season, they are more pragmatic. They are better defensively structured. And with the defense being structured, that makes them harder to beat. And with the players that they have in the attack, they have Salah, they have Diaz, they have Joe who's injured right now. They got Gakpo who's scoring goals, Nunes who's scored. So they have all the requirements possible to win the Premier League, in my opinion. They have a decent enough midfield as well. So I think Liverpool right now are the favourites. And based on the fact that Rodri's out for the whole season with Manchester City, just that alone, I think that could ease them above Manchester City, in my opinion, because Liverpool are a team that can win numerous amount of games and go on a big win streak. Something that not even Arsenal can say that they've done. Arsenal can never even say that during we've been so great the last 2 years. You've never won 10 games in a row in the Premier League. Things that both of these teams have done in the last couple of years. So I would give it to Liverpool right now over City just because they are doing more. And Manchester City, they rely so much on De Bruyne and Rodri, and the defense concedes goals as well. So yeah, man. I think Liverpool win it, and we need Van Dijk and not in our defense. we're never gonna get Van Dijk. So, but he would be great for our defense, and we finished above Arsenal and come on. I don't think we'll finish above Arsenal. If we do, I'm gonna laugh at them. I will seriously so laugh. And to all of their fans that chat so much rubbish, I will be on their necks. But I don't think we'll finish above Arsenal. I think we'll finish fourth in the Premier League. That's where I think we'll finish. I think the top three will most likely be Liverpool, Man City, and Arsenal. In that same order, I think the top four will be Liverpool, City, Arsenal, then Chelsea. So that's just the way I think it will be. But this is game week 11. We still have a whole 27 more game weeks to go. And I will be here every single week after a Premier League table has been done to do the review. And we can sit here for the next 27 match days and we can discuss the thoughts and opinions. And then we can go through all of the results and all of the things that I've said at the end of the season when it's time to see what is happening. Because I've been saying it since the start of the season. I believe Chelsea can finish fourth, but I don't think we'll finish higher than that. If we do, it will be brilliant. But I don't see us finishing higher than fourth. That's just my thoughts and opinions. But obviously, yeah, man, this is just my thoughts and opinions. That was the Premier table review. In the first 20 minutes, I did outline Enzo Maresca's progress and comparing it to Pochettino as well. So I hope you guys saw that and agree with my opinions on that. But I just want to sit here and say that Enzo Maresca is a better manager than Pochettino. He's doing more for this team and he don't make complaints. So I like that. And you doubt it, I see Chelsea finish above Arsenal. In my opinion, I see Arsenal losing to Forest. Hey, man, I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not trying to worry too much about these other teams. I'm not trying to focus more on my team. The only time I'll focus on these teams is when I see an L against their name. So until that, I'm not going to be predicting Arsenal versus Nottingham Forest. I hope both teams draw. I hope. But whoever loses, we will see. Nonetheless, I will only be here to laugh once the result comes in. But until then, I can't say who's going to win. I would think Arsenal could win more than Nottingham Forest, but who knows? You have to just wait and see, innit? But hey, man, all I can be happy for is that we are above Arsenal for the second game week in a row. We are above Manchester United and Arsenal, two teams who I know, and these are the fans that I know most of, Manchester United and Arsenal. We are above both of them. They are now the teams that can't chat to us right now because even though we haven't been doing well the last couple of years, none of these men, or Arsenal especially, have been winning trophies. Man United have won the FA Cup and Carabao Cup, but that's nothing too major. But Arsenal, all they do is win games and not trophies. So I'm not too fussed about them. And do you watch other sides of the coin and Eunice and Mar? I don't watch too much of Miz. He's obviously the other side of the coin. I've seen them a lot on. Obviously, I've watched their debates on with Matisse and Eunice. Like I've seen that a lot. And I'm a fan of the what you can eat Chelsea. And at some point in the future, man can make an appearance on that. But obviously, right now, I'm just trying to build up my page right now, get the full monetization. The man will mix and match with these kind of guys. But yeah, man, big them up. Miz, Eunice, Matisse, they are all great Chelsea content creators. And even though not everyone's going to agree with everyone's opinions, I respect them all for doing the content and for just supporting the club that we all love. And we just all want to see our team getting back to the best of our ability. So I have seen them. I do stay tuned for them. And if you guys, you obviously already know them, they're the big accounts. Watch them. Watch them, man, because they give good Chelsea insights. So look at them and yeah, man, big them all up. Big them all up. Eunice, Miz, and Matisse. Big them all up because they're all great Chelsea content creators. But yeah, I'd like to thank you, Nehemia, for your comments. Drew, anyone else who left your comments in the chat. I'd like to thank you all for participating in this Premier League table review yet again. I will be back. Obviously, there's international break this week, so there won't be a Premier League table review next week, but there will be one the week after that. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, stay tuned for all the watch logs that will be happening throughout the next 7, 8, 9 days. So stay tuned for that. And thank you for your support on the video. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any new Chelsea content from me. And follow me on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat, and Facebook for more Chelsea content. I am CFC Redis Blue, and I'm out. Peace. Come on, Chelsea. Come on, Chelsea. And also, I forgot to say, thank you to everyone who voted on the poll. The vote was for, do you think Chelsea will finish in the top 4? And we had 7 votes. 71% said yes, and 28% said no. So that's just another week. We have 27 more game weeks to go. And I will be here doing more Chelsea Premier League table updates. Not Chelsea Premier League, just doing the Premier League table update review. So stay tuned for that. And thank you again for all your support. I will be live again tomorrow. So if you want to, feel free to ask me any questions or anything tomorrow, feel free. Other than that, check out the content on all the platforms. And thank you all for your support. I will catch you on the next live stream. And until then, come on, Chelsea. Come on, Chelsea. Thank you for your support, my people, damn. I appreciate it so much and enjoy the rest of your day. I'm out in a bit.